This is Bob Andelman, and you're listening to the Mr. Media Radio interview with Heather Brewer, author of the Chronicles of Vladimir Tod series for young adults. Now, earlier in the show, I had thrown it to a short video clip. I want to go back to that because I inadvertently stepped on it before. So this is a short video of Heather Brewer explaining a little bit about the Chronicles of Vladimir Tod.
10th Grade Bleeds is my favorite Vlad book yet. It has the most blood, it has the most action, it has the most fight scenes, it's got the most romance, it has the most of everything. If you like Vladimir Tod, you're going to love 10th Grade Bleeds. The Chronicles of Vladimir Tod is primarily, I would not say it's a vampire series. I would say it's a series about a boy named Vlad Tod. Vlad is just like any other boy. He's awkward, he's shy, he doesn't know how to talk to girls, bullies pick on him, he's failing math, and he happens to drink blood. I've always been drawn to darker things. I've always been drawn to things that aren't the norm, things that are more in an outcast setting. And I think that that comes from me being an outcast growing up, because I was very unpopular in a very, very small town. I grew up in a town population 814 people. I was the least popular person in that town, picked on daily, so I was certainly an outcast. And so when I look for things to read, I look for outcast characters. I think that that's something that my readers look for as well.
Heather, I understand you may have some big post-Vladimir Tod plans, and I didn't run this by you ahead of time, so I don't know if you can talk about this or not.
I can talk a little bit about it because everything's all signed, sealed, and, well, soon to be delivered. But, yeah, I do have some big post-Vlad plans. For one, I have a spin-off series from the Vladimir Tod series, and it's going to be called The Slayer Journals. It's going to be about a certain character from ninth grade slaves. I don't want to say who it is because it could give away secrets if you haven't read that book. But there will be 5 books in that series, and it starts September of 2011. And then I have a different series called Bloodbound, and that one's a little bit different. It's about a girl and basically these horrible monsters she has to face and these secrets she has to uncover in this strange world. But that will start in October of 2011, so fall of 11 is going to be very, very busy for me.
I see. Now, how many of these books are done, or have you not started yet?
I'm actually writing both of the first books of those series right now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's scary. They're actually due on the exact same day, too, so it's kind of funny.
It's weird. Now, has Hollywood come calling about the Vladimir Tod series?
Well, I don't know if Hollywood's calling yet, but they might be knocking on the door. I really can't talk too much about it, but hopefully there will be some very, very good news to share with my minions soon.
Very good. In the book, one of the things that struck me early on, and it's one of the few things that threw me a little bit off, is that there are references in the book to locations that seem to reference old vampire movies. And I wondered if looking back, if that was, if that was kind of a mistake, or why would places in town be named that way? Just coincidence? I don't know.
I love throwbacks. I am a huge fan of throwbacks, and whenever I read stuff, like if you read Stephen King, there are certain things that come back in different stories that aren't attached. Like Bob Gray, who was Pennywise, appears both, of course, in It, and he also appears in Dreamcatcher. Little tiny throwbacks like that, just they tickle me pink. And for me, I wanted to give throwbacks to the vampires of old, you know what I mean, to the fictional vampires that really just made me very happy when I was younger. And so naming the town Bathory after Elizabeth Bathory felt very natural to me. Naming a street Lugosi Trail after Bela Lugosi, of course, was just one of those little thank yous from me. And, some people have said that they didn't care for it. Most of the minions have said that they love it, and they love looking for all of those things because they're kind of hidden throughout the book. Some of them are a little more obvious than others.
And there is a character whose name seems to be a bit of a bow to a television
Yeah,
vampire.
and you're totally right on that. It absolutely is.
Yeah. And we won't go into that. I don't want to give anything away. But people who've read it know what we're talking about. And people who haven't will now have to go out and read the books.
Right.
One of the things I really liked is you handle relationships. Well, first of all, I almost forgot about this. The main character, Vladimir Tod, is a young man. You, to the best of my knowledge, have never been a young man. And I thought, my first thought after, I think by the second book was, I thought, wow, how does she know what's going on in a preteen, teen boy's mind so well? And then you handle the relationships between this boy and the rest of the world. Really, I don't know where you got that from.
Well, for me, I think that relationships are everything, no matter who you are. It's how you interact with your friends and your enemies that really shapes your life. And just because Vlad happens to have fangs doesn't mean that he doesn't have feelings. And so the way he interacts with, like, say, his best friend Henry, of course, is very different than the way he interacts with other vampires or with the pretty girl in class. And so it just was very natural for me because I feel like I'm part Vlad. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That part of me that never felt like I belonged anywhere, that's Vlad. And so, it's just another reason he doesn't fit in anywhere is because, he's got fangs, so he doesn't fit into the human world. But then he's also half human, so he doesn't fit in with the vampires. So that internal struggle really, I think, makes him pretty universal.
Now, one more question before we let you go. I know you don't refer to your fans as fans, but as minions. I imagine you get some very interesting minion mail.
Oh, yes. Actually, several times a week, I get emails from vampires that tell me I've gotten the story pretty close to the real thing. So, I don't know if they're actually vampires, but just in case they are, I make sure that I read them all and take them to heart.
Got it. Well, folks, listen, you can find the first 4 books in Heather Brewer's hit series, The Chronicles of Vladimir Tod, at great bookstores everywhere, or, of course, you can order it online at mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. Oh, I didn't even ask you. I'm assuming, I think, that the final book will be out in December, or is it later than that?
No, 12th Grade Kills is actually going to come out on my birthday, September 21st, 2010.
Oh, my daughter is going to be excited. Her birthday is September 25th. She will be very excited. So there you go, Rachel. Happy early birthday. That'll save me a lot of money. I can afford one of Heather's books. And folks, one more thing. You can learn more about what's going on in the life and career of Heather Brewer at her website, www.heatherbrewer.com. And Heather, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to spend time with you, and I expect we will probably talk again.
Thanks so much, Bob. I had a great time.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And for more original interviews with young adult novelists, you can surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my earlier conversations with Lisa McMahon, James Dashner, Sarah Czar, and many more. And you can now hear Mr. Media while you're on the go with Stitcher Radio. Stitcher is a free news and talk mobile application. The latest episode of Mr. Media is always available for you there. No syncing needed, no memory wasted. It's available for your iPhone, your Palm Pre, Android phones, or your BlackBerry. Downloading is easy, so go to Stitcher.com or check out the App Store for your individual mobile phone. And please take advantage of this great offer for Mr. Media Radio listeners. Go to www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia to get a free audiobook download of your choice when you sign up today. Again, that's www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia for your free audiobook. And subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes, and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in most locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@andelman.com. And you can follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Andelman or www.facebook.com/Andelman. Thank you so much for joining us today. Always appreciate when you give up a little piece of your day and come spend it with us. Thanks for listening, everybody.